So hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we talk about how awesome and famous we've become.
Wow.
Well, at least in our head anyways.
Are you kidding?
At least in our head. So, yeah.
These delusional people.
Well, last week we actually had a field trip come over.
That was pretty cool.
To our place.
That was very awesome.
I know, right? Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah, so it was about 10 art students. We also had special guest Skylar.
Oh my gosh, it's about feeding your kitty cat.
She showed up.
Yes, Hopper, the Hopper.
And I guess the whole point of them showing up was they wanted to see how artists lived, the space, and anything we could talk about, I guess.
Like what we do, how we do it, the troubles that we run into, because forever changing. So I think it was just neat to see firsthand somebody local that actually does it.
Yeah, because we're local. We're weirdo artists that live out here. So, anyways, we didn't know what to do, to be honest about it.
Yeah.
We were more nervous than anything, so we're just pacing. Well, I should say Kara's more or less pacing the whole time before the bus showed up.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, my refires didn't work. They turned, ooh, he split. So go bye-bye.
Kara is trying to fill the time in between waiting because we have a field trip coming from Kara's old school. Some left early because they were so excited.
Oh, and special guest Hopper's gonna be.
Special guest Hopper, whom you'll see right here. No, in the
Oh, yeah,
video.
I'm like,
in the video.
here, yeah.
It's video magic, Kara. You're ruining video magic.
Sure.
Nervously awaiting, even though we shouldn't be nervous, but
I don't think my legs are only shaky from squats yesterday. I'm nervous because just damn.
we really didn't know what to expect because we've never had a field trip come over. We've never had a school come over, or it was never a thing.
We had a bus on the farm.
So it was neat, and we didn't know what to expect, and we were nervous. Kara a little more than me.
Of course.
When they got here, we just flipped the switch like, oh hey, here's our house. And we started just blabbing right away.
I think teacher mode kicked in.
And then
So
3
then
hours.
It's hard to shut up, and then I keep interrupting you like I am now.
And then 3 hours later, we just kept going.
Blocking for this was all these colors, while as the watercolor for the homeless man was just blues, purples, and greens, and then the Prismacolor colored pencils over top. And that was where all the more natural looking skin tones turned in, and it works great.
We started off showing the space because, when you come to an artist's house, you don't know what to expect. And when it's your studio, there's a lot to show. So we started off with a tour, which became a very lengthy tour because we like showing our stuff, and it eventually evolved into telling stories about our cats too.
And he was really fat, like really bloated. So it's like, oh my God, and we're looking around and asking, and we had him for a few days. Nobody claimed and putting stuff on Facebook, whatever.
That's very comforting.
So we got him into the nearest vet because...
So it was fun to show people everything that you did, all of your art that's displayed on the walls, all the stuff you can do. I don't know if they were dumbfounded of all the things because there's a lot to look at, or it was a little bit disinteresting too. So it's kind of hard to read teenagers.
Yes.
If you have any tips on how to do that, we don't know.
And the teacher, I think she was super interested and she was super nice.
If you haven't come to our house, we made videos of them, and there's a lot to look at, everybody.
Would you say you can find them here?
Yeah, like Kara said, they're in the kiln.
No.
I guess the best part about the whole tour was one of Kara's previous students, Skylar. She just graduated, but then she showed up and she put her 2 cents in, and it was a very good point of view to have for the students because, we're Gen Xers as artists and we've been doing it for a while, but she's a Gen Zer and she's just starting her art career. So it was cool to have her point of view. So she would chime in, tell stories, and it was a lot of fun because it helped out a lot because we didn't always know what to say.
Oh gosh.
The day that COVID actually took into place at college, I took a selfie, I'm like, woohoo, 2-week break, and then it turned into like a whole year of being off from school. So that's where that painting came from. So that's where she kind of pulled inspiration for the title.
Yes. Yeah, no, she's a bit more relatable, I think, just with age as well, but she also is just so cool. She has no fear. She'll just jump in. Hey, I could add to that.
A lot more relatable for the students to have her as they're looking at us, probably seeing The Creeping Dead. I don't know.
Wow! Excuse me, sir.
We have that face, everybody.
I just think it was neat that there were students here that genuinely showed interest. It's like, what kind of paint do you use? What kind of brushes do you use? And I'm like, take photos. Nothing I have is proprietary. I didn't invent painting. It was neat to share everything and to tell the kids and the teacher, because she's a younger teacher, it's like, use us for a resource. If you need something, we will help you. And if we don't have the answer, we're gonna try and find who may have the answer to help them.
Good answer.
Long-winded.
I guess for me, the best part was at the end of the tour and everything, we sat in the living room and we had a question and answer.
I don't think you'll ever outgrow imposter syndrome if you have it. If you don't have it, my God, tell me your secret, because
That means you're comfortable.
I don't ever want to be comfortable. Like, people say, oh, I think I peaked. It's like, if I peak, I better be dead. So no, I never want to peak, I never want to plateau, and you always want to be a little uncomfortable.
And it was really awkward for me because nobody really wanted to ask me a question.
Well,
So-
I kind of left you hanging because I went and I talked with the art teacher.
So Skylar helped out and she asked a pertinent question which I answered in great length and detail.
Yes.
And then one of the other students finally had courage and they asked me a question on landscaping, which took me by surprise because, you know, we're art people.
Well, and it's also covered in snow, so it's really hard to see anything right now. But
It was a fun question, so I had to rack my brain to answer that one, so I hope I did a good job.
yeah.
I guess some of the topics we talked about the most were how to be scared as an artist and that it's okay if you don't know what you're doing. So for me, it gets lonely out here, but I read these signs and it's like, okay, there's my hope, there's my hope. That's what I'm working for. I'm only a failure if I let it be. Like, I'm gonna be successful because for me, there's no other choice. I hope they got that vibe from us because we don't know what we're doing. We're giving it the good old college try. Easiest thing to talk about was all the stuff we have in our house. Like my favorite is the basement with all the toys. They didn't have any questions on that because they're kind of flabbergasted at what a big nerd I am. So once again, that's the life of an artist. If you want to find out more, you know, we have website, YouTube channel, all that stuff. And if you want to support us, we have a link to our Patreon down below. And special thanks to all of our patrons who support us. Thank you very much, and you know who you are. But we appreciate everybody watching, so we hope you enjoyed it and got a glimpse into the lives of us weirdos artists. So thanks everybody, see you next time, bye.
Bye.